funny things. I think it was Nicolo when he found out that, oh, Gabi was the one that actually pretty much killed Sasha. He then punched, this guy punched a girl. When this happened, I laughed my face off. Finally, I get it. Now, let me just first start by saying this. You're lying. Anybody who has been watching this anime and has been able to fully understand all aspects of the story without looking on wikis, reading the manga, or going back on episodes, you're lying. I've watched everything straight. I've not rewatched a single episode. I've not gone back, and I've had massive lulls between seasons and episodes because I've been busy. So, me being lost is perfectly understandable because there's so much stuff happening, so many twists and turns and this and that, and like, okay, well, what the heck is happening? So I said that, before, because I've now watched all of the episodes right now until before this break. So I said, let me sit down, go onto a wiki page, and let me just find out what is this entire story about. And as I did so, it took me about like an hour or so, I was like, I now get it. I now fully understand. So it now fully embellishes things and now pretty much makes me now understand the story in its fullness. Makes you understand the story in its fullness. I now get that, no. There are, because for so long, I was like, okay, yeah, the Eldians are the good guys, Malians are the bad guys, so yeah, good guy, bad guy, boom, boom, boom. So, but now, reading behind it and so forth, I'm like, okay, and I know who the Emir is. I now know who Fritz is, and I know the fact that really the Eldians are the guys who actually pop things off. So they popped things off to begin with, because they were the guys that engaged, that received the Titan powers, and then that was then dispersed into the 9, and then these Titan powers, obviously they used them to pretty much F over and screw over everybody. Fritz, the king, felt a bit, guilty and so forth, made a deal with, I think it was the Tybor family, and then he then sort of put them onto Paradise Island within the 3 walls. They're now in the inner wall, which is where the kind of king's family are, and so forth, and the Malians pretty much were able to gain control of the Titans. That is why, because for me, I was like, okay, so who has the Titans? What does guys have other Titans and so forth? So, okay, I get it. And also, I see what I needed reminding of were those human Titans, because I think which was the explanation of last season. Because I told you, I've not watched this in a while. So last season was pretty much about how, okay, this is why these Eldians are this way. This is why they're treated this way. And when they were, and so basically the humanoid Titans, those are the guys that we saw at the end of the season who are pretty much taken by the wall and they're injected with that thing to make them the humanoid Titans. And people like Reiner, Galliard, and so forth, those are the different kind of Titans that can actually be controlled, where they can now morph. And they're actually fully aware of what they're doing. So the guys who are the humanoids are not aware of what they're doing. Those are the guys who've been injected. So the main Titans are the ones who have pretty much inherited this power from Ymir through the 9 that were dispersed. So Eren found out that, wow, you actually have these powers. And these Eldians, they have their memory wiped. So when we see them initially, we think they're the good guys. But really, no, they're the bad guys. Well, you could argue. Well, you could make an argument that they're the bad guys because, well, you screwed over the people in Mali. So this is where it's put into perspective now. You can see from the thumbnail and so forth. This is why I find Japan hilarious and anime hilarious, anime or whatever you want to call it. I think is it Gabi? Because obviously, I think Falco is the dude and Gabi is the little girl. I said for Gabi, when she popped off Sasha, I don't give a crap how young you are. I don't care if you're aware enough to pop off my best mates, I'll pop you off. Doesn't matter how young. It doesn't even matter if you're freaking infant. I'm popping you off. I'm retaliating. Funny things. I think it was Nicolo when he found out that Gabi was the one that actually pretty much killed Sasha. He then punched. This guy punched a girl. When this happened, I laughed my face off. I was like, wow. That could never happen in the West. Only in Japan and in anime would you see a guy literally full frontal punch a little girl in the face so much that she's actually even bruised. So, but then you now look at Gabi's like, since now you now understand things from Mali's point of view, because they've been suffering, they've been screwed over, and they've been living hundreds and hundreds of years of getting screwed over by the Eldians due to the Titan powers that they had that messed them up, So Mali, they say, well, we're having revenge, we're having vengeance now. So which is why you now have to choose that. This is merely a war. It's merely a war where you can't really choose a side. Because my mistake was, okay, no, this is the good guys, these are the bad guys. No, it's a war where Eldian, there's like, look, we were getting popped off. We inherited this power. It's a war we had to engage. And we responded. Mali were like, boom, we've been attacked, we've been enslaved, we've been put under. We now want to retaliate and take revenge for how these guys lubricated us. So, here's the thing. Of where it now stands is because you now have Zeke and Eren now saying they want to do this whole euthanization plan, which means that, okay, what has been causing the issue are the birth of these titans. How about we just end the race of Eldians? End the race of Eldians, because really what started this whole war, this whole issue, was this titan power. So if we end this titan power, then what? But my thing is, okay, even if you end this titan power, doesn't mean the war. Why would the war stop if you ended the titan power? It's sort of like people say, if we get rid of all nuclear weapons, will be cool. Nah, But I think the idea is, I think the titan guys have what's like a 10 or 12 year lifespan. So if you sort of just put an end to all Eldians and so forth, they can't have any kids and so forth, they just put an end to it, the Titans will eventually die out unless someone gains or creates a technology to keep on reproducing these Titans. So maybe his idea can work if you know for sure that there is no other way apart from biologically, naturally, that these Titans can be created. So it could work. It could work, but right now you're not having a situation where Eren, obviously with these kind of Eldian Jaegerists, are now trying to fight against your boy Reiner, who's still popping off with the Malians. Where's Levi? So I think the last time we saw Levi, he was obviously transporting Zeke somewhere, and the guy beat the crap out of Zeke. But then he then saw an explosion, and Levi just flew off. But we never actually saw what happened to Levi. But it's actually not confirmed what happened to him. So we have to just wait and see. Armin is still a loser. Please. I need you to listen. Armin is still the biggest punk in the world. I need to say he's still a freaking loser. Screw him. He's a dick. Where are we at right now? So really, coming into this like final stretch now, I don't really know what's going to happen. Because, so Eren does, because I think Zeke it says lights out for Zeke. So for Eren, do you now go ahead with this euthanization plan? Or do you uphold and fight for the Eldians? And become this one buffer against the Mali? Because I think right now this is like the confrontation between Eren and Reiner of the Eldians and the Malians, So what happens with the euthanization plan? What happens to the future of the Titans? And where does this leave Mali? So, yeah, so look, as I said again, look, I don't care what anyone says, man. You see, here's the thing about anime and stuff. With stuff like this, where it's very dialogue heavy and the story is very dense, it is very hard to follow with the subtitles. Because something like this, if this was like a book, perfect, I would easily understand this if this was manga. If I was reading the manga of this, it'd be easier. But with anime, you've got to look at the text and also look at the images as well. So you have to look up like that. And there's so much, which was my issue following Death Note, because there's so much dialogue, there's so much content. It can be a bit overwhelming. Hence why you probably have to go back. But look, man, I'm sorry. I say this dude punched a little girl in the face. Now, doing reading and in hindsight now, Gabi has a point. Like, if you look at it from their points of view, you've been screwed over by these peeps. So I think the way the story... Now, here's the thing. Maybe it's a storytelling issue, but the way they presented it was, we should feel for the Eldians. And they presented it as if the Malian guys are evil. So even if you have a guy just sort of giving you this dialogue that, oh my gosh, blah, 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 this is what's truly happening in history, it doesn't hit us hard. What they should have done is they should have dedicated one season or a season to showing that went back into history and showed how the Eldians effed over the Malians. Because I think if they had shown that, and we actually had, rather than a guy doing like a flashback or in one episode telling a massive story, they should have done an issue, a season, where for a few episodes, it just went way back into the past, and so how the sorry my throat, and so how the Eldians screwed over the Malian people. So then it's like, aha, we now have context. So we now see from the Eldians' point of view, we now see from the Malians' point of view, and then it just adds a bit more depth to the whole story, which just shows that no, there are no good guys or bad guys. So yeah, man, I have no idea how it's going to end. I have no idea how things are going to end. I don't know how it's all going to play through, but here's my thing. I don't give a crap about Armin. The quicker that guy gets beaten the crap out of, the better. Hence why I love the scene when Eren beat that scene was beautiful. When Eren beat the living crap out of him, oh man, that was a thing of beauty. Levi should save the freaking day. I know it's unlikely, but Levi, I believe, is still alive. He's still operational somewhere. And I feel that if this TV show will win my heart, if at the end of the day, Levi, who doesn't have this kind of special Titan ability and so forth, is the only dude left standing, then that will be then I think that'll make, because he's still the best character. It's him, then maybe followed by him. I'll say it's Mikasa. But he's the best character now. But yeah, look. So I now understand things. All it took was me just to Google up a Attack on Titan wiki, because there was a lot of stuff that was just convoluted so hard, but there was one that I saw that just perfectly laid out the history, that showed you what Fritz was about, what the Eldians were, Ymir getting the Titans, the whole thing with the war, and so it was like, aha, context. It all plays through, it all pops off, and as I said, if you were to ask, okay, how do I think it's going? I have no idea how it's going to end. Like, because the show is so random, and random things are so happening, and it's so not following and this is what you also get a lot in Japan. It's because Japanese people are very unconventional. They're extremely unconventional. So it's such an unconventional story that I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Which I suppose it's a good thing. I think that's the beauty thing of the story. As an audience member, is you're watching it and you're like, well, I have no idea how this is going to end. I have no idea how this is going to go, because literally there's so many twists, so many turns, things just happen from nowhere. You're like, wait, what the heck? So we wait and we seek. So guys, comments below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I lost? Give me your thoughts. Peace out. Stay true. Stay real. One love. and like and subscribe.